Okay, so hello out there. My name's Lou Martin, and I have a YouTube channel called Awakened Spirits Network, where I get to interview other wonderful teachers and people on the path and students of consciousness. And it's my great fortune and pleasure today to be connecting with someone that is kind of new on my radar here. I want to introduce Camilla, Aurea, Kumara. Hi, Camilla. How are you today?
I am very good. Thank you, Lou. I'm very happy to be with you in this moment.
Thank you. Me too. I'm delighted. Let me read here from your introduction, just a very brief introduction, so people get a sense of you and your work. Is that all right?
Yeah, please.
Okay, hon. You're welcome. My pleasure. So Camilla says on her page, I am a Swedish soul path guide, light language sound healer, speaker, writer, and multidimensional channel, working through the Akashic and cosmic records. That's amazing. Being in my early 40s now, I've been consciously open to the spiritual realms for more than 20 years. For the past 10, I've stepped forward working as a guide and channel under the name Camilla. Aurea, Kumara, bright auras, a path I've never ever regretted. This is my path, and while also being a mother of 3 rapidly growing kids and a wife, I deeply know where I and we are heading in this lifetime, a path ever evolving and growing, holding more and more and more light, so much magic flowing in. That's a beautiful, beautiful introduction. So what would you like to chat about? I have some questions, but I want to give you a chance to just kind of introduce yourself and step in.
Yeah. Well, I think that we connected recently through the topic of interdimensional, interplanetary traveling or light body traveling, and
Yeah,
I have been doing this for quite many years and guiding groups in that. But
wonderful.
it has changed a bit lately.
Okay,
Everything becomes clearer, and I am guided to witness and experience certain things or events that seem to be on point with what is going on the planet and
okay,
connected with our ascension journey as a whole. Mhm.
beautiful, beautiful. Can you talk a little bit about your own awakening process in this
Yeah.
lifetime? That's always helpful.
Yeah, for me, it has been. I have never felt that I have been sleeping and then started an awakening
Right.
process.
You
I've
came in
always,
wide awake.
yeah, I've always felt that I have had connection, and I felt like an old soul already as a 13-year-old.
Wow.
Um, but for me, it was the years when you usually feel that it is important to blend in, to be part of, your community and so on. That would be late teen years and early 20s. Um, I felt my soul calling, but I didn't follow it fully because I wanted to blend in and wanted to be part of the life going on outside. And so it became very strongly for me in 2003, 2004, with my soul stepping through and basically forcing me to change path, that this is the wrong path, you are meant to do something else, and you know this. So I
Wow.
started to having these symptoms of panic attacks, and I felt that I couldn't really go forward with my academic plan and so on. So
Wow.
I just needed to start listening more, and I found the path of a very soulful psychology branch that I started on a new education, becoming a psychosynthesis therapist,
Okay.
which is a psychology with a soul. So it opened up for the spiritual.
Yes.
Um, And so I could really step into that, and combining my sort of not fully in the spiritual role that I already felt inside, so I could sort of transfer into it. But I
Right.
started channeling eventually,
Okay.
and it was really powerful also to give birth to my children, because that was the point where I um, came into my body. So my
Okay.
soul came here more.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it
Wow.
was after that I started to work in the spiritual world more, and channeling and working with the Akashic records. And I had my grounding, and I worked with my grounding so much so that I could receive these higher frequencies and light, and with the light language and everything. And I needed that grounding not to lose myself, basically.
Sure. Sure.
In this.
Well, bless you. So thank you for sharing that. So, I get the sense from what you're saying, Camilla, that, you might have felt very isolated, as a teenager, and feeling so profoundly different from your family and friends, and, being self-conscious about, can I accept this part of myself? And, what was it like to have your soul come in and really, get your attention? Do you literally hear your soul's voice in your head?
Well, firstly, I just want to say that I am fortunate to have a very understanding family. So I have a mother who was already spiritually
Oh,
open,
you
and
did
she's a
really
healer and
well.
so on. So I had a bookshelf to go to in my teens, in the 90s.
Good planning.
But
Good
yeah, but
Yeah,
around me, friends, society, in the biggest city in Stockholm, and student life, that was difficult. That was very difficult.
sure,
I was very different from my friends.
sure.
But
Yes.
how I felt it, it was a combination of the body screaming, like
Wow.
you cannot go on this path. It is the wrong path.
Okay.
I remember moments when I was supposed to. This was um, at the end of my academic studies, and I was supposed to do this last exam. I was supposed to study for something that I had pushed in the future, and I was like frozen. I just couldn't do it. It
Wow.
was impossible for me to continue, because every fiber of my being said, this is not the right path. This.
Right.
uh,
Right. Bless you.
yeah.
But that's a lot of courage if your father is standing over you, or, your mother, but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So just so people can understand,
Mhm.
Camilla, that, I mean,
Mhm.
I really relate to a lot of this, my friend. Honestly,
Mhm.
I felt like an old soul with a different path my whole life as well.
Yes.
And, my awakening happened at 30 with a Kundalini awakening that was just a
Oh,
before and after moment
from
in my
one day
life.
to another, was it like?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes, completely. Everything just shifted
Yeah.
immediately, and then it was different from that point on. But,
Mhm.
people who, are having these awakening experiences,
Mhm.
need to know that they're not crazy, and that there is more than just one way to live in this world. And, we're trying to help each other spread our wings and fly, and be
Yes.
free to trust ourselves. It
Yes.
takes great courage sometimes.
And what you're saying now, it's so important and interesting, because what limits us in that moment is that you cannot really um, imagine how it could work. How can I be a healer, or follow my soul? What kind of profession would that be? I was a student in those years. What should I study then? I don't know how this can look. And
Sure.
this is also, when I meet people today, that it is difficult to imagine how life can be when you fully step into a new version of yourself with it, which is when you grow spiritually, and you start remembering who you are as a soul.
Yes.
You step into a new phase of your life, and you can never know exactly how it will look in 2-3 years.
Sure.
So
Sure.
uh,
Yes.
yeah.
It takes great faith. It takes great faith, my friend. But it's always,
Mhm.
you know,
Yes.
my joke, Camilla, is I tried everything else,
Yeah.
and this is the
Mm.
door that opens,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then
And
you have no choice but to follow heart.
right, right.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Mm.
Well, and may I ask, I imagine your husband is proud of you and at peace with this. I'm being very idealistic now, or is he still like, here's my wife and she, oh, honey,
With
let's fix the drink.
Yeah, I would say I see our process over the years as just the most beautiful journey, because
Beautiful.
we met we had known each other for a few years as students. So he started to know me before I went, official with
Right.
who I was.
Right.
And But in the very early years of our relationships, that was when I broke down. That was when my soul came through and said that you need to do another direction and all these symptoms. And so, right from the start in our relationship, he was at my side. I would say that he didn't at all understand what was going on, but he has always been very, very grounded, and calm, and sort of, okay, this is how it is now. I'm here. And this
Great.
is how he has been throughout. So there have been periods when it's been challenging,
Sure.
but now
Sure.
he's sort of just he's my rock. He supports me. He's
Beautiful.
not into all of what I do, but he is into me.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Mm.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your vulnerability and honesty and sharing all that, because, there are, uh, it's usually women that are conscious of what's happening in the spiritual realm, in my experience. And, most 90% of the counseling and channeling I've done is with women, of course,
Mhm.
because of that. And so, it's always worth exploring how the male of the species is relating to the
Yeah.
consciousness of the women who are really stepping into their power,
Mm.
as you've done here, which is
Yeah.
wonderful.
I have always felt that we have an understanding between us, that it is so much about accepting the other where you are. So
Sure.
no feeling of you have to change the other person. So it is a great amount of acceptance and love and respect.
Yes.
And I do see that his path is a path of opening the heart, and very much in the now, very grounded. And I am more the mystic, doing the mystic journeys. And together we are a whole. So sometimes um, you find yourself in a relationship where you're not exactly the same, but the combination is very, very um, good and valuable, and it's fulfillment as a whole. But it is a journey, and you need to look at yourself and your inner and your shadows and everything in a relationship. But we have been in a relationship for 20 years this year, actually.
Oh, congratulations. And you have
Thank
you're welcome. You have three beautiful children you're raising as a conscious
you.
mom.
Yes, they are 7, 12, and 15 now.
Okay. Well,
Mm.
that will keep you busy, I have no
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Great. Thank you. Well, again, it's just wonderful because, people, are opening to these energies and awakening to all of this very quickly, as you know, and yet how to fit this into the rest of their lives, and how to relate to their family and friends that aren't quite on the same page yet, is a great challenge. So I really appreciate you sharing all of that. Well, yeah, let's come back to your work as a mystic. And you mentioned, we got started with this conversation that's here today with talking about Agartha and Hyperborea and your out of body experiences to the inner earth. What would you like to share about any of that?
Well, this has been a topic that has returned from it. It began early last year, together with a beautiful light worker friend. This connection with Hyperborea, and what happened was that I was contacted, not connected, but contacted by a being. I would describe him as a giant being of Hyperborea.
Wow.
And I was contacted by him in my inner journeys and meditations, and he showed me that they are still here within the earth, inner earth. They are also in the etheric realms outside earth, but they are very much here and now, live, watching us, following us. They are masters of, I would say, manifestation, are transmuting and transfiguring energy.
Okay.
He came through with teachings about how to use the pineal gland in a more focused way for energy creation. He also talked a lot about how they decided to leave the earth plane because of the galactic wars going on at that time, and their strength. And so they decided collectively to leave the earth plane. And so many of them left for inner earth. And so they are there, and we can connect with them with doing light body journeys or out of body journeys. And so I've been meeting them for a few times. Usually when guided, I follow the guidance. So I never have a clear, scheme for I want to do this. So I just let everything happen. And so I've been guided there for a few times.
Okay. Wow.
So sorry, these are so much different sort of threads in it, but please ask what comes up.
Well, Camilla, fascinating. I mean, my own personal sense about the bigger picture right now and how this might relate to it, and why this is divine timing for us to talk about these things and begin to get these energies and these ideas out to a larger audience is, my saying has been, the veil is getting thinner.
Yes.
Really feeling that. You are as well. And like you had this beautiful emotional breakthrough we were talking about, where you were just overjoyed a few days ago, and that's one of the symptoms to me that the dimensions and these different realms are opening up to us now. So I've never had a conscious out-of-body experience. And one of my teachers is a woman named Addie Lambourne, who is also in her 50s, and she's been traveling out of body since she was 4 years of age. She grew up in the Czech Republic, and I'm connected to her through Patricia Cota Robles, who I don't know if you're okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm
Yeah.
very familiar with it.
Addie does the videos for Patricia, but she's also a wonderful teacher in her own right. I've been in her class for the last couple of years, 4 or 5 days a week for the most part. So she's a channel for Divine Mother. So she's bringing all these energies onto the earth as well. So, I mean, you're receiving this invitation from Spirit to connect with them in the inner earth. There's a woman named Nancy Rebecca who's talking about the blue beings of light. And when she was here in Ireland, she's seeing Tirnano. She's seeing a city of light above where she's at. And I just had another friend in the UK doing ceremony for equinox, Helen Quayle. So I'm just saying there are a lot of ceremonies and classes and teachers and work right now to help us to really expand our 3D, up, down, black, white worldview back into these higher realms. So it's just that this is happening to you is exciting to hear about,
Yes. And over the years, I've received so many messages, channeled messages, and brought through messages about what is to come. And what you're saying about the veil getting thinner is one of the things that will happen. And how the energies will come through, will get stronger and stronger.
Yes.
I've been working a lot with Arctic region. No, not just because I'm Swedish. Not everyone in Sweden is sort of going north, but I was guided by Aurora, who was very present with me as a guide in that time, to go to a specific place in the Arctic zone in Sweden to support reopening of an interdimensional portal or stargate there, to bring through these energies coming from the north. And we needed to go there. I brought a group, and we needed to go there for several times to work with this portal to let these energies go through to the planetary network, into the grids. So that was we are all doing different things for the whole. So as you say, there are so many different light workers who anchor and channel these energies. But for many years, that was, I think, the most important part of my work, those journeys up to the north and being there in person, opening up and clearing this interdimensional portal that had been partly closed down for a very long time.
You were going up to the Arctic Circle in person and doing this work?
Yes, I was.
Wow.
It is about, it's not that far, actually. It's
sure
2
it's not,
hours. It's about 2 hours with a plane for me, and then train a bit. And it's where the sun never sets in the summer, and they have the polar night in the winter. Around winter solstice, the sun never come up.
Yes. Yes. Do you know Yona Yinton? Speaking of all that, have you heard?
Yes, I know her. We don't know each other, but I follow her. I love her work.
Me too. Big fan. Yeah, very good. Because that's where I've seen the polar night and the 6 months of sun. She's pretty close to that as well.
Yes, she's
beautiful.
I think what she's doing, she is allowing all of her audience, everyone who's looking at her, watching her YouTube videos and so on, and listening to her music now. She's opening up that very pure energy. She's living long in the forest in the north, and so she's inviting people from all around the world into that very pure energy. It is a wonderful channel.
Yes, and she's also started to get into her own spiritual path,
Mhm.
meditating and this kind of thing over the last year or so, which has been it, as well as being a wonderful filmmaker and a great, storyteller and beautiful, singer and artist, and just really putting her heart out there, being so loving and so open with her sharing. She's got like 3 million followers. It's
Yes,
pretty
I
incredible.
believe so. Hmm.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, so much going on with you. You have a program coming up. I'm just catching my breath here. You have a program coming up called "The Radical Practice of Love and Acceptance to Transform Your Life."
Yes,
I must
it is.
ask you about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is a longer masterclass. It is next week, the 27th. I believe. I hope I say it right. I think it's 27th. Um,
Yeah.
I have worked for quite a long time online with doing online group energy work. So the focus has been so much around energy work, grid work, portals, a lot of channeling and bringing through light language transmissions and so on. And
Right.
so now, pretty recently, or the last few months, I think, since a great shift I had in December, I have received guidance that my guides want me to focus more also on the teachings. It's focus humanity now. Now, from focus, energy portals, anchoring light. So now it's also focused more on humanity and teachings because it is us, through us, that the change is happening. So the
Yes.
love and acceptance topic is combining the Essene, about the Essenes,
Yes. Yes. We
yeah,
both followed Lars Muhl and other people who were talking
yeah,
about this. Yeah.
yeah. So it is my connection to the Essenes and with Joshua Jesus and that foundational teaching there and oneness coming from the Melchizedeks and so on. But it is also a teaching that I received from a beautiful, beautiful light worker, mentor, teacher who pretty recently left the earth plane. She was from New Zealand. She was called Solantra King, and she was an active light worker for since like the 70s. See, she was really before her time, traveling the world and working with portals when no one knew
Right.
what that was.
Right.
And she also had this working with a love and acceptance in a very detailed way to transform energies within. So I am guided to bring all these teachings together and to focus on that. And I will do some live channeling and bring through this topic. And it feels, I'm very excited about it. It's about the star elders coming through also to bring
Wow.
these teachings. Mm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. Well, yeah. I mean, fantastic. It's, a lot of the messages, what I've been getting and what I've been hearing, as we want to give you space to talk about this. So we've just had the vernal equinox yesterday, spring in the northern hemisphere, autumn in the southern hemisphere, and now we have these two eclipses coming up.
Yes.
We have to talk about the eclipse, Camilla, of course. My God, Okay, so we have the lunar eclipse on Monday, and then the April 8th solar eclipse, which every astrologer, channel, and prophet on the planet is getting our attention about. What would you like to say about your sense of what we're
Yeah.
moving in?
Well, first, I can just say that the guidance that I receive and also my experience is that the eclipse periods, now the eclipse window with both eclipses, always bring through change and especially spiritual growth. So we could experience as a challenging period. We could also experience it like breakthrough period. And last year over the eclipses, I was guided to hold a energy work journey to Montségur in France,
Okay.
very powerful place.
Yes, Mary
Uh,
Magdalene. Yeah,
sorry.
Mary Magdalene's.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
and working with a great crystal within the mountain, and it is always connected with these eclipses. So I would say that be be prepared for changes, and it's like stepping up on a like a roller coaster, or
Ferris
something
wheel.
that makes you go faster. Uh,
Yes.
if you want it or not, it doesn't matter. We all go through these passages when the growth and the development is kind of accelerating. So this is
Yes.
what we will experience and already experience.
Yes.
With the solar eclipse, I do know that it is a very special, significant path how it goes over, especially United States. But I'm not the person to really go into that deep because
Sure.
it's not my
Sure.
topic. But I feel that I go into this period with excitement, and it's like, yeah, bring it on, bring it on. I am ready to anchor energy and to support the whole of Team Humanity in a
Yeah.
way. I feel like very on a high, moving into this.
Yes.
Mm,
Beautiful.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, brilliant. Um, the, the love and acceptance, and the Essenes, the Yeshua's teaching about love, acceptance, forgiveness,
yes.
healing the shadow, facing our fears,
Mhm.
being forgiven, forgiving, etc. All of that is like cleaning the glass, I
Yeah.
believe. Right? So we can see what we want to create and the
Mm,
kind of world that we want to live in.
mm.
And this is kind of with Sun, Moon, Chiron, and this comet, and
Yeah, the comet too.
yeah, and the
Mm,
Pleiades. It's such a perfect storm, and
yeah.
as you say, in the U.S., it's the third of three eclipses since 2017, and
Mm,
it's the last time in like decades that
mm.
America will have any kind of visual connection to the solar eclipse.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a great purging and healing opportunity, I think, for America and for the world. And then whatever
Mm,
you know faith, courage, devotion, humility, service, love,
mm,
wisdom, vision we can bring.
mm.
I think everyone that can hold that space is going to be really initiated to a higher vibration. That's the
Yes.
sense that I have of it.
Yes. I feel that too, and it's interesting. Also, you mentioned this comet. That will be more visually able to see it over the solar eclipse. Um, just recently, these comets came up for me. I received a message. I asked my highest council if they could give me something like a date or time. I do know that everything is kind of fluent, so they usually don't give me these exact
Sure,
dates of what is
sure,
going on. But
sure.
it was something that they said, um, that they pinpoint as an important event, and that is a comet that will go very close to Earth in 2026, in 2 years. And
Okay.
I didn't know anything about this. And it was so clear that the year was 2026. So I Googled it, to look up
Right.
how can I
Right.
find,
Sure.
the journeys of these comets.
Yeah.
And I did find articles about that. There are different ways of calculating this, but it appears that it is a smaller comet that will, or asteroid, that will come very, very close to Earth in April 14th, 2026. And
Wow.
so I could find it on the internet, what I brought
Okay.
through. So
Yeah.
this will be an event that will probably do its part to bring through frequencies. It will affect the electromagnetic field. It will affect the Earth. It will not, devastate everything. It will not
Right.
crash, but it will
Right.
affect our energy here. And
Right.
it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And I just find it fascinating to receive these insights and then finding it, on the internet.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Brilliant. Well, I mean, we had this comet called Neowise, which
Mhm.
appeared in 2020, and that really was the starting gun for the chaos and fear and a huge cleansing of the next few years.
Mhm.
So from that point onward, I've been paying attention to the word comet and the appearance of any comets on the screen of our lives. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the beautiful thing that you're sharing here, Camilla, and what you're bringing through with your work is, just a deep knowing of the reality of spirit, the availability of spirit, the
Mhm.
wisdom and love of spirit, and that all of this in our little lives and in the big world is all happening for a divine purpose.
Yes.
And that's something that is not said on the nightly news every evening
Yeah.
when people sit down to their dinner. So I'm over here going like, yes, 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 thank you. Bring it on, woman, bring it on.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I think that, I do work often with groups, and when I work with groups, either online or locally, with groups, usually there are even more information coming through in the channeling. Then I think that's pretty common when you work, that the group energy supports the flow of information. And
Sure.
also when I sit by myself and do these inner journeys, that I receive information and I sort of, yeah, that's cool. And then, life continues and I do the regular things and I go out with my dog and I am with my children. And
Right.
sometimes it hit me that maybe I am the only person that received this information. It's so important that I need to speak. I need to share this because I don't know. Maybe I have a gem here that's important in the big puzzle.
You have a lot of gems, my friend, and I'm just thrilled that I get to be any part of you sharing that with me and the wider world.
Yeah.
Would you like to channel before we finish up here today? I didn't ask. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can do that.
okay, I
Mhm.
would love,
Is it a
invite.
specific question that you would like me to focus on, or just open up for a message?
Yeah, I think Spirit will be, able to fill in the gaps, and we've laid the table very nicely, I
Yeah.
think, with all the subjects here. So yeah, I just
Mm,
want to leave that
yeah.
free and open to you and your guides, if
Mm,
that's all right.
yeah. I can just. I will just shift the energy a little bit.
Wonderful.
We are pleased to join you in this way. Thank you for opening up this space for us. We are the Council of Light. Our message is, in this time of the eclipses that you experience, please do not in any way move into fear. Please simply be in a space of calm and love and excitement for every step that you take and how you experience the light moving in layers, how change is coming through in a faster pace. Stay in this calm, centered awareness, and you will see and receive messages in a much clearer way. The passage will end with a much clearer guidance. Especially the star families will have an easier way of communicating with you. And we do see this as highly positive.
Wonderful.
Thank you for this moment.
Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, yes, I mean, I felt the waves of light and energy. Yes, there you are. Yeah, you're all lit up. You're all lit up like a Christmas tree, as I like to say. Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, that's great. Thank you. What else would we like to talk about here as we come down the home stretch? You've blown my mind many, many times. Let me ask: do you teach people how to go out of body yourself, since that's part of your practice of working with spirit?
I put this practice of doing traveling with a light body, which is not, I wouldn't say exactly the same way of traveling as the outer body when you see your body lying on your bed or something like that. This is more dimensional traveling. You move through your heart portal, and so you travel with your Merkaba or your light body, however you call it.
Yes,
and
sure.
you can travel to different places or intergalactic traveling, and you can experience and really see and feel those places and dimensions. But I always have this in everything that I do I have this group doing portal work, the core group frequency holders, I call it. And we do this every time. So I teach in the way of practicing. Now we do it as a group. So I support the group traveling, and we hold the space together, and I hold the space for the group. And then so I encourage everyone to do these practices to learn and get used to working with your light body, because that is, I believe, the future. This working with your light body, being more in contact with your light body, activating your light body, and everything with the light body is part of the ascension journey. So it is like training a muscle, I would say. But I also have this in course. But at the moment, I only have courses in Sweden, the multidimensional guide course.
Sure. No, that's beautiful. That makes good sense. You mentioned Melchizedek. Are you familiar with Drunvala Melchizedek and the ancient secrets of the flower of life?
He was one of those names that were everywhere, early in the early years of 2000, and late 90s. I have never really took part in his work. I know about him, and I do know that he has written a lot of books, I believe, and so on.
Yes. He's how I learned about the light body and the Merkaba. And he's I've met him a few times. He's worth knowing about as well. He's a wonderful teacher. Yeah.
With the light body, you can find nowadays you can find a lot of information about the light body or Merkaba. Most of how I do it, it is my guides showing me how to do it, and how to cleanse your energy and prepare and so on, and to set a safe space for yourself. So it's just been a part of life to have these practices the past maybe 10 years or so.
Sure. Beautiful. Can I pick your brain for a few more minutes? Do we have a few more minutes here? All right, because I'm like, okay, what else? So you talked about connecting with your guides and connecting with spirit. Do you work with angels? Have you experienced yourself with God, Goddess, all that is, the divine? I'm just curious more of your personal cosmology and how you're translating that for all of us.
Yes.
Is that a fair question?
Yeah, it's just where to begin.
Right.
With the angels, my experiences with the angels, they were just part of my awareness since I was very young. But the angels they supported me to take the first steps of moving outwards with what I was able to do with channeling and so on. So that was the first part that I did, was to offer meditation with the angels and with the archangels. And so it was Archangel Gabriel who supported me. I was really, really afraid at that time to what will happen. Can I actually do this? Oh my God, inviting people to come and everything. Is this me now? But it was a beautiful, because the angelic energies they are just so loving and allowing, and now you just feel that you are held in a supportive, loving light. And so if you can just let your fearful ego just go, and you trust what will come through, they will be there and they will support you.
Yes. I feel you have a lot of angelic energy. I feel you're sharing a lot of angelic energy just with who you are.
Thank you.
Sure.
I have also, usually I'm not that visual in seeing energies with my physical eyes. I see with my third eye, but I don't see so much with my physical eyes, auras and things like that. But I have seen angels outside my window of my home office. I have seen angels, angelic beings, the light beings, angelic beings just outside. They have been very close when my third child, like that. And just, I don't want this moment to ever end.
Right. Beautiful.
But they are, so I feel that I have been guided to explore all these different varieties of source energy, the angelic beings, the angels, the elementals, fairies and dragons. That was a phase of connecting with them. And then the star beings, different star families, the Pleiadians, Lyrans, and so on, and getting accustomed and getting to know them. So it is like a school almost.
Completely.
To learn and to feel, can I sense immediately what kind of energy is this that I am connected with now? And it is a learning every day too, but it gets, I am quite fast now to really feel, and also if it's, I saw a Star Wars movie with my middle son the other day.
Right.
And there's this passage when they speak about, I feel a disturbance in the force. I
Yes.
think they,
Famous line. There's a disturbance.
Obi-Wan says this.
Yes, that's
And,
right.
yeah, and I smiled because, yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, you're tuned into the force as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
um, to learn how to navigate and sense, like, okay, so there's an energy here that's not supposed to be part of what we're doing,
Yeah.
or whatever is coming through, and so on.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, yes. All right. So bless you. And what's your experience of God or Source? May I ask that?
Yeah, it's just she is huge, energy, the light, the love, within, without. I would say my journey with words would be to go from, perhaps from God to source universe, and back to God.
Okay.
So now
Beautiful.
it feels natural to speak about God and experience God firsthand. It's very easy
Wow.
to feel that the purpose here is to experience for God source.
Yes. Thank you
And
for
it
that
is
point.
just love. It's
Yes.
and um, yes, it is an
Beautiful.
energy that can fill up. I can be filled with that energy, and it gives me this sense of bliss and gratitude and euphoria often.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
mm,
Yes. Well, beautiful. You just literally, Camilla, you just touched on something which has come to my conscious mind here, which is, that God Source has created us to
mm,
experience this reality through us.
mhm,
And as we surrender our negative ego, little self, etc., and know that we're worthy and deserving, and
mm,
we're willing and we're available,
mm.
of God's grace in our lives and with us and through us, then we can be a blessing and an inspiration and a source of courage and hope for our fellows in this world, in this dramatic time that we're living
Yes,
through, and
yes.
and that God is learning through our experiences and our choices. You
Mm,
know, I mean, gathering information, whatever word we want to use, and that
mm.
so each of us that are created out of God in the likeness and image,
Mm.
has an incredible, a priceless gift, this gift of life, and
Yes,
knowing that it's literally about to press the restart button for how we create reality in this world,
yes,
could hardly be more exciting.
yes. I, I really feel it to be that way too. And when you come to this place of a fully, with faith and just allowing that to be who you are, and so on, you realize that this is all ascension, and everything about it is more about embodiment, about, it's like a descension. Actually, the soul comes through and is here, and I would never ever, I don't want to be anywhere else. This is the most exciting thing, to be here and to experience um, this gigantic shift that is going on within us. It's not easy.
No.
And many of us have experienced so many ups and downs, and journeys and everything, and for some it gets like bang and very powerful from the first day of awakening. But since we are so many, and I receive the message all the time that it may not look like it, but we are winning. The light is tipping over. It might not look
Right.
at it in the newspaper or TV, but it is
Right.
a change within the human. There's
Yes.
so many who are opening up the heart and opening up their senses and crown chakras, and it
Yeah.
is happening. Mm.
Yes. Yes. I agree. I agree 100%. Well, my dear friend, thank you so much for your time and your beauty, wisdom, and truth, and it's just flowing over me and everyone that gets to see this wonderful interview with you. I'm so grateful to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for having me, and thank you for all the love you put out in all of your work, your YouTube channel and lives, and I love it. Mm.
Thank you. Thank you. Bless you. Well, I will make sure, thank you, darling. I will make sure that people have the links and your description, and you've definitely filled my cup to overflowing today. And I hope we'll talk again at some point.
Yes. Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
You're welcome. I'll let you go and have a beautiful day. And my best to the angels and the fairies, the dragons, and everyone you're seeing out there in the big world.
Yes.
Okay. All right.